The first reading from the book of Ecclesiasticus talks first about people who are known. They made a noise and were spoken of. Kings, people who were rich and powerful, people who uttered oracles, people, in a word, who were, as it says here, the glory of their day. Some of them left a name behind them, so their praises are still sung. And then it goes on, while others have left no memory and disappeared as though they had not existed. They are now as though they had never been. This is a good picture of the Irish people over the centuries. It's not those who make a noise that are actually, therefore, the most successful. Hitler made a lot of noise, but we know from exorcism where he is. Which is better? The likes of a dictator who has power almost uncontrollable and uncontrolled, participating therefore in some way in that original fault of Satan who wanted power, or the typical Irish housewife who, under all stress, duress, against all odds, makes the ends meet each week, especially with a difficult husband who will leave no trace in history books, but will be gaining merit by the day. This is more likely to open the doors of heaven than much noise. I was talking some time ago to a youngish person who was with me on retreat, a person who spent time before the Blessed Sacrament, who wanted to be with Jesus in the Hermitage to do so. And on one occasion, she gave me to understand that, according to the experts, the turning point in Irish life and culture was actually as early as the first incursion of the screen into the Irish home. She went on to explain that although initially it was not particularly bad, it was the point at which a new entity, a new point of reference, a new value system from a different culture altogether came into the hearth. And although it was very much controlled in the initial stages, even censured, it was there. And it was going to remain there, getting ever bigger, more dominant, and then, almost unnoticeably, becoming hostile. But already, just being there was the point of no return. What had kept the Irish faithful under duress in penal times was that little cord which linked heaven and earth, particularly the family, the Holy Rosary. And you may have seen pictures of old Ireland where the whole family was usually in this position. I'll give a demonstration. You had a chair and it became suddenly a kneeler. Remember? That's why it was done. And it was everywhere. And Daddy or Mammy or both would have power to call all the big family, usually talking about 7, 8, 9 children, at least, from their play to what was recognized by all as sacrosanct. Key time in the middle of the evening where grace was shared, where heaven was acknowledged, where, despite whatever might not be perfect, God and man met at home. And there were signs also of that. You still see them. The Sacred Heart with, by now, an electric bulb with a cross, but they go back. The house consecrated to the Sacred Heart. Often there's a signature inside them if you look carefully. God was there. And if that's there, there are also side effects. One doesn't come from the rosary and swear and shout. One is a little bit graced. And also, and we will remember that, it's not that long ago since massively the whole village would be found together in church on a Sunday. Therefore, say what you like, grace was there. Now, enthroned, down, just only a few years later, the line, a pulpit, where, bit by little bit, erosion by one more bit of erosion, the last of which is just the other day, blasphemy, you will get more and more a norm which will be directly hostile to grace. It will be normal to abuse the holy name. It will be normal to poke fun at. It will be cool to be like the demon. Non serviam, I will not serve. Now let's get this straight. Nothing has changed. The soul, once it's out of the body, sees things. And there it's alone. The norm is not that of the goggle box or the Google box. It's that of heaven or hell. And it sees it straight away. It's no longer cool to be independent. At that point, one sees, for the first time, what the demon has made it impossible to see. Why? A continuous bombardment of distractions, like the one right now ringing, is what is taking control of the whole of this Emerald Isle, who only 50 years ago was graced and blessed. Now, what do? Half a second after we're alone. Rather than face boredom, we will take out of our pocket a machine that cancels it. What do we do in bed? The same. What do we do when we're alone? Some form of the same. Make sure, says the demon, that they're never in touch with themselves. And any message they hear, let it be something from outside themselves. And certainly nothing to do with the other side, God. So, where's he going to hit? He gets the future by getting the young. Make sure the young are tuned in. Now, also, we have, as it happens, certain things that favour that. Do you know that whereas God may not be honoured at Christmas, it has to be a neutral holiday. Satan himself may be directly honoured at Halloween, which is pretty close to it in importance by now, commercially. And whereas a priest or a teacher may not talk about hell to a child, lest accidentally it might get frightened, that child may certainly be exposed to all the fumes of hell in any shop or school or any public place around Halloween. The precisely representations of the demonic are everywhere, and each year more and more explicit. How clever old Nick is, and how thick we are. Where am I going? This is not just human. All the devil wants is immortal souls. If it works, he'll use it. Right now he has all in modern culture to favour it. He has the schools through the likes of Harry Potter, set works they have to study. He has the television, his glorious pulpit. He has each year more and more freedom in publicity, rudeness, lewdness, pornography, the norm, anything which solicits the mind and empoisons it. And now, of course, he has also one of the greatest of all, the destruction of the mind through ever stronger drugs, massively present in a once graced Emerald Isle, the land of saints and scholars.